What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Fightful post NXT Takeover Chicago podcast. It is May 20th. We're coming at you tomorrow night, right after Backlash as well. I get the feeling this show tomorrow night might not live up to this one tonight. But for those of you who are new to us, go check out Fightful.com. We got forums, photos, videos, news, interviews, podcasts, all kinds of podcasts, MMA, boxing, wrestling. We're going to do a contest this week, I believe. You will see the official thread. We are going to do a Tom Phillips counter. And whoever gets the closest will get an autographed book from Edge. I am joined by three of my dear, close, personal friends. We'll start off left to right. He is the associate editor of Fightful.com. You can see him tomorrow night with me on the post-Backlash show. You can see him every Monday night with me on the post-Raw show. Alex Palowski. Alex, Eric Thames can go square to hell.
That's fine. He's my favorite, and I love him very much. And I'm wearing all Brewers stuff just to get under your skin.
Also on the show this evening, the host of WWE's Most Ridiculous. You'll see her on the sidebar of Fightful.com, where it says latest from Anna Bauer. She is also usually here with us on pay-per-view nights, but she's super fancy and can't be here tomorrow because she has to do a shoot. So she's not going to be here. She's skipping Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal to get paid for something, which, I mean, we pay her too. But also she is on the Tuesday post-SmackDown show. Anna Bauer.
Hello.
What's up?
Anyone else's heart hurting a bit right now? Just me, okay.
My heart feels great. Also, from the Tuesday podcast, as well as Shake Them Ropes, Jeffrey Hawkins. Jeff, hi.
Oh, it was either this or Tinder. No, yeah, hi, how's it going? Anybody watching wrestling? Huh?
Oh, this was a good show. Now, throughout this, you all will hear me interject some notes that I had from Thursday's live event in Highland Heights. I was there. That was a good time. Thank you to everybody who talked to me, who saw me. That was very cool. Me and my wife really enjoyed that show. That was neat. But NXT Takeover Chicago, overall, I would say this is a pretty damn good show. We're going to get the thoughts from the panel as we go along. Of course, always, guys, check out our live coverage. And I'm starting live threads on the forums as well because I know some of you prefer that. Those will take off in no time. For the pre-show, I want to say Charlie Caruso kind of struggled at times, but she's not exactly used to this hosting format, so she'll get more used to it, and I think she'll end up excelling in that role. No Aleister Black, no Cassius Ohno, no Drew McIntyre on this NXT TakeOver Chicago show. Black and McIntyre did wrestle before the show, and I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. I think Aleister Black is a breakout star. I think he can be something very, very special, but the benefit of being so loaded that some of these guys couldn't make this show is it leads me to believe that we aren't going to see 6, 7, 8 month programs with like 4 or 5 rematches like we have at the top of the NXT card for the past couple of years. Alex, what says you? I didn't get the feeling that we're going to be revisiting Itami Rude, which we will obviously get to at length later.
No, that seems like a one-off to me too. They got to groom somebody to take the title from Bobby Roode over the course of several months, I would think. They have 3 months to do it. You know, I mean, the next one, as we figure, is not until the SummerSlam. So, you know, you got time until Brooklyn to do that and also to find somebody who can beat Asuka. You know, prove it through things that you do on your weekly show that there are people out there who can beat your top 2 champs and then do that at a pay-per-view. I'm looking for that.
Anna, from this pre-show, what were you looking forward to the most on this show?
It was going to be the women's match. I also have a very special place in my heart for Pete Dunne, which was confirmed 10 times over today. It was a great show. I feel like with NXT, with TakeOver, every single time, I feel like I'm going to see my sibling showcase or a big game or something. And by the end of it, I can only feel proud for what they've done. And I think by limiting the matches and not having Aleister Black, not having those kind of things, it just makes it all feel that much more special. So
yeah, not everybody's getting on the card. Not everybody's getting on the card. And the thing about NXT shows is if you're not on the card, it doesn't mean that you're worthless. Like some main roster events where if you're not on one of their pay-per-view shows, you're probably worried about your immediate future, at least from a booking standpoint. Jeff, did this show live up to expectations? And what kind of expectations did you have going in?
It's always weird because I'm waiting for that time when an NXT Takeover under-delivers, and it never does. It's one of those weird things where I'm like, oh, man, can they really top this one? I mean, it's not that this topped every other NXT Takeover. It's just they're always consistent in being quality shows that last for 2.5 hours and don't get in its own way. That to me, it's amazing that they've been doing these for, 2.5 years now? In terms of these types of specials, and that the main roster never seems to learn from this.
Yeah. Every time it seems like we're saying, man, the main roster is going to have to step it up. They're going to have to step it up, and they never do. Mm-hmm. They never do. They never make an effort to live up to this.
This show will be the talk of the weekend. It won't be tomorrow, no matter what they do tomorrow, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. We had Roderick Strong defeating Eric Young with Sanity. Sanity's entrance, I didn't get to see it as well in San Antonio, but it's very underrated in that TV doesn't do it justice. Like, I don't know who could see Nikki Cross do her entrance live and then immediately not be like, I can't wait to see her wrestle. I can't wait to see what she's going to do. There were a lot of people shading Eric Young on Twitter, and I didn't get it because they were like saying that this match wasn't the ideal match to kick off a show. I mean, I listened to the crowd, and I'm thinking they seem to be cool with it. I watched what happened in the ring, and I was cool with it. Strong attacked Sanity from behind, and that got a big pop. Those vignettes and this crowd made Roderick Strong look like a star. Nobody will ever be able to say that WWE at least didn't give Roderick Strong the platform to be an over character on NXT because he did. But yeah, I thought this was a good mix of spots, cutoffs, action. There wasn't a lot of like working a body part or anything, but I don't see anything wrong with that. You can't have that every single match. Roderick Strong ended up winning. Crowd liked it. What did you think, Jeff?
I love this, and I think people shading Eric Young, no offense, are wrong here. Because this is what Eric Young's job is to be. This has to be TNA stank or something on him, that fans just have that natural reaction that they don't like him for that reason. I thought he was great here. I loved his elbow drop. This was the match for Roddy Strong. He beat a mid-card stable, got rid of them all. They didn't get in the way. He didn't have help. He pinned the leader clean, rolled out and outsmarted them. This was the match that Roddy Strong needed at this moment to capitalize on the vignettes that they did the past couple weeks. Yeah,
Anna, I know that you chimed in earlier when I had mentioned it was a little weird that this match got criticism, but I mean, ultimately it all is subjective, but I thought this was an outstanding opening match.
Sure, and it is all opinion, but I feel like a lot of it nowadays is complaining for the sake of complaining. I actually decided to not watch a lot of my feed during this takeover, and to be honest, it made it a lot more enjoyable because you didn't have this constant in your ear going off about things that aren't really important. These guys are giving it their all. And in terms of character, I just caught up on 2 months worth of NXTs over the past couple of days. Those packages for Roddy Strong were incredible. And they really just need to let him go and do his thing. There was a point in the pre-show where they were asking him about, what do you think about Young saying this about your family? And he just said, don't ever mention my family again. But even that, I feel like because it was scripted for him, it just wasn't the same guy we saw in the packages. And there's still a little disconnect, but there doesn't need to be. Just let him go do his thing. He is incredible. He is like the ultimate babyface in the company for me at the moment, or one of them. Just the combination of the 3-on-1, the packages, his presentation, that just let him do his thing. And Eric Young, it's like he bathed his personality in dirt. He is perfect as this. People need to just calm down and appreciate.
Eric Young has a remarkable amount of range. Like he is such a versatile character that he can do so many different things, and he can do it well no matter what. I mean, TNA made this guy their world champion a few years ago. I don't know if he worked in that role, but everything up to it, I thought he did well at. My concern with Roderick Strong is when he gets in front of a crowd that doesn't make noise. That's when I see him I don't want to say lost, because he's hardly lost, but
I feel like he gets in his head still.
Yeah, it seems that way. It seems that way. Alex, this opener, what's up?
This opener was very good. It did what it needed to. I like the idea of Sanity and Eric Young in particular being the gatekeepers for mid-card baby faces. You have to get through them before you can move up the card. If Ty Dillinger hadn't been brought up to SmackDown, he'd be at a higher place because he got through Eric Young, that kind of a thing. And Roderick Strong got through him faster, maybe because he learned from the mistakes that Ty Dillinger made. He was able to keep the lackeys at bay on the outside strategically. It was good stuff. I love his new finisher because he can't do the sick kick anymore because now Drew McIntyre's got basically the same thing. So now he's got this amazing like vertical suplex toss into a backbreaker lung blower thing that's just great. Like Eric Young sold it like $1 million. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Let's keep going with Roderick Strong. And I agree with you. I don't know who the next program for Rude is, but it should be Strong. I mean, it should be. I don't know what they're going to do as far as if they're going to put a rocket on Drew McIntyre and see if they want to bring him up, because to me that's a guy who doesn't belong in NXT as a babyface because he's too powerful. Like babyfaces in NXT are underdogs, and then you have the heels who are guys at the top who the babyfaces have to get through. And if Drew McIntyre's like, I'm coming for you, Bobby Roode is right to be a coward. And therefore, you've lost your dynamic. You know what I mean? So I would love to see a Strong versus Rude. Rude loses, Rude moves up, and then McIntyre slots in as the top heel and comes for Strong's title. That would be a really great.
You think they're going towards Rude and Strong?
Yeah, that's the only possibility for me at this point for the Takeover Brooklyn 3. But to me, and we'll get on this later, there are other matches that they have for that SummerSlam Takeover that I'm way more interested in watching than Bobby Roode versus anybody. Doesn't matter who he's facing.
Jeff, 5 words or less. Who is next for Roderick Strong?
Drew McIntyre.
Anna?
Probably I would like it to be Strong.
Q. Special shout out, and I don't usually do this. My buddy Nick, who you all see in the forum sometime, found out he's going to have a boy and a girl. Shout outs to the infamous Charles.
Mazel mazel.
Indeed. You fucking with my helmet, Charles. Anyway, next up, oh man, this was special. What is rank? I hear somebody rattling something. I don't know what it is.
Sorry, it's me and my excitement. Yeah.
Cut out the rattling. Cut out the rattling. I really do hear rattling though. This match, this United Kingdom Championship match, Pete Dunne defeated Tyler Bate. Hot damn. First off, I'd like to note that the O count was drastically cut off in this match as we had Jim Ross calling it, and that did nothing but help this match. The only minor thing that I had, a couple things, an orange crush bomb, I see that, and I'm like, man, you got to finish somebody with that, Playboy. Then there was this spot where Bate flipped out of a suplex and Dunne kind of watched him do the shooting star press. Other than that, I thought this was just outstanding. One thing that I particularly loved on commentary, it's something that I chirp about a lot of times. Nigel McGuinness mentioned these guys are kind of young. They're new to this, new to all the big crowd. And the more they win, the more money they make. Now, the thing is, on the main roster, Vince McMahon wants his guys to be portrayed as being above worrying about money. Like, they shouldn't worry about winning because they don't have to worry about money. And when you do that, you take a lot of the stakes out of a match. So shout outs to Nigel McGuinness for pointing that out. Tyler Bate had the damnedest airplane spin that I've ever seen that I bought as a finish. I was like, damn, he's going to finish him with that. Also, I laughed out loud at the ref begging these two to get their hands up when they were throwing strikes. The ref's just standing there like this. Like, please, one of you, will you? This was just unbelievable. This was outstanding. This was great. Some people will say that they did too much, but they had the crowd for every single second of the match. So, I mean, that's what you're going for. Anna, shower this match with praise.
I had tears in my eyes by the end of it, how good it was. It's covering wrestling the past couple of weeks it's been a bit of the same. I've found with our shows, we've been covering the same stuff. This match reminded me why I love this so much. I actually went onto my Facebook and said, if you don't understand why I love wrestling and you want to try and figure it out, watch this match. Because it was the psychology, the execution of it, the characters, insane. Pete Dunne just looks like the kind of person, I mean, he threw a child in a match a couple of weeks ago. I was half expecting him at some point to just nipple twist Tyler Bate. He's just that kind of a person, and it works so well. I'm in love with this match. I would say it's my favorite of the year so far. And I really think this should have gone on last because, okay, not so much having seen what went on last, but in terms of the women's match and the championship match, this definitely should have been after those.
Yeah, I loved it. It was fantastic. I get the feeling Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton is not going to be as good as this match tomorrow. Jeff, what would you say if you were Vegas and you had to put a line on Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal topping this match? What would that betting line be?
Plus and a little infinity sign, perhaps.
Just shutting it down. They're not even taking prop bets on it.
Yeah, they're not even taking prop bets on that. I disagree that they did too much, if anybody has that criticism, because when you look at how this has to position the UK show on the network, and this is a hell of a debut for it. This is the equivalent of the CWC final and what it could do for 205 Live. This match was absolutely fantastic. The reversal into the DDT spot is possibly my favorite thing I've seen this year. And just in terms of commentary, Nigel McGuinness earned his paycheck here because he was doing both play-by-play and color. And look, I know a lot of people are nostalgic for JR. I don't think he's necessary anymore. I think Nigel McGuinness was fantastic calling this match. You can give him anybody, and he'll be fantastic. He was obviously geeked to watch his countrymen do this. This was and I'll admit, I was wrong. I thought Tyler Bate had to win this match to keep establishing him as a star. I think this establishes the show as a star. I think it was fantastic.
I think this match it didn't need JR. I think it needed somebody besides Tom Phillips and Percy Watson. That's what I think.
No, I'll agree with that. But yeah. Nigel was fantastic.
Oh, Nigel, he usually is. He usually is. Alex, my wife thought Tyler Bate was 37 years old. Imagine her surprise when she found out he was 20.
He is a man. That guy.
Are we going to find out that you actually just turned 18, Alex?
No, you're not. I am 37. You know who else is 37? Eric Young. So yeah. Like if Bates 37, I'm 37, Eric Young 37. There's a wide range. This was my match of the year. I said that, and somebody was like, better than Okada Omega, and I was like, damn, that did happen this year, didn't it? You know what? Screw it. Yes, this is my match of the year. This match meant more to me in the moment when I was watching it than that match did. That match probably was better. This match was every bit as good for, 40 minutes less than that match or whatever, however long that was. But it was
also, I want to say Tyler Bates, one of the only people that I think who doesn't look weird without knee pads.
Right. Now, he would look very odd. They would be so small compared to his giant, monstrous thighs.
Yeah.
But these two guys are great friends in real life, and that is not played up at all. This is not the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens story. That's never been mentioned. They talk about it in interviews they give, but it's never brought up. It wasn't brought up during the tournament. Wasn't brought up on the special last night. Wasn't brought up tonight. But these guys know each other very, very, very well. And Dunn basically trained Tyler Bate for a while. So these guys went out and said, "Hey, you know what? This is our debut for a huge national audience for Chicago, like this, those kind of fans. Let's go out and kill it." And they did. Like I don't know what they could possibly do for an encore, but the rematch of tonight should be on SummerSlam, not TakeOver. SummerSlam as the co-main event, if it's going to be anywhere near as good as this, because like keep showing these guys to an even bigger audience. Let them do a 10-minute match on Raw and see what the crowd does. Build it up for 2 weeks and put them on Raw and see what the crowd does. I mean, if it's the same kind of crowd that would have seen tonight, and they would. I mean, these guys did everything. I loved the whole thing. I'm so proud of both of them. I can't wait to see where their careers go. They're 23 and 20. Like 15 more years at least of these guys doing amazing stuff all over the world. I can't wait to watch it.
Well, I don't know if they'll be
Alex, they're actually stablemates in progress, just to let you know.
There you go.
I don't know if they'll be doing it on SummerSlam or Raw, because it would appear that the UK situation is an NXT property, much like 205 Live is a Raw property, but they're more than deserving. And the crazy thing is, like, Pete Dunne's the crafty veteran who trained Bate, and he's 23 years old.
Yep.
23 years old.
I just want to add, though, like, I've been thinking for a while, I want to get into Progress Wrestling. I just haven't had any time. This makes me, like, that's it. I'm going to go and start watching it. WWE is stupid if they don't pick these guys up and put them on the main roster.
Yeah.
Former Fightful.com podcaster Matthew Riddle, the Progress Atlas champion. So shout out to him.
I wanted to add is they let the dastardly heel go over clean. He was smart enough to get out of the way of the dive that Bate thought he had to do in order to seal the match. Brought him in, hit him with his finisher, won clean. When does that ever happen on the main roster? Ever.
Yeah.
Like, and it was it should happen more often, but the fact that it doesn't and it did tonight meant it was so much more special.
And that's why I somewhat disagree with Anna. I don't want these guys anywhere near the main roster. I like them in their own little world here in NXT. Right. Look, I want them to make all the money in the world. I want everybody to make all the money in the world. But after CWC, what they did with 205 Live on the main roster, I don't want them to do that to the UK show.
Agreed.
By the time 205 Live had debuted, they had rendered that division to where I didn't want to even watch the program. So we'll see where that goes. The tapings are going to be these are probably the upcoming TV tapings are maybe the most interesting NXT TV tapings in God, I don't know how long, because there are so many directions. We basically know one program. We know like one program coming up, which is kind of cool in my opinion, because I think I mentioned this on the Wednesday, the List and Your Boy podcast. Last year, I went to NXT in Highland Heights the week before the draft, right before they emptied the cupboard. And when I went this week, it felt like that cupboard was restocked, and I was excited about where all these people were going to go. It was a lot of fun, and just name after name, and it seemed loaded again. I think the least interested I was in a Cassius Ohno match. And if that doesn't tell you the level that they're on, that's pretty cool. Also, his theme is absolute garbage. A trash fire.
You don't like, oh no. It's so bad. Like,
I mean, this is sandwiched right in between like Aleister Black and Bobby Roode and Sanity and Asuka. And yeah, that's pretty much what he had to do in there. Also, I want to say No Way Jose's entrance did not disappoint. He is fantastic live as a show starter. If that guy probably doesn't even need to be on TV ever again. He could work as a live event starter for NXT, for stuff like this. He'll be all right. What do we have next? Asuka defeated Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross. I saw a preview of this match Thursday, and it was also really good. A little note, none of the 5 NXT Women's Champions have held that title any less than 6 months. So usually when people get this title, they hold on to it for quite a while. Nikki cut off Ruby Riot like really violently on a suicide dive attempt right out of the bat. I was like, sup, Monty Brown? That was cool. And Nikki Cross, there are not a lot of people in the WWE or the world really who wrestle their gimmick as well as she does. She does like these random little things, like she'll get into strike exchanges, and instead of firing back with a punch, she'll just like jab somebody in the shin with her toe or something, or like push them, or like it's so unique how she embraces that. Also, I appreciate these girls not bumping before strikes land, like you will see every week on SmackDown Live, where you'll see a babyface firing up for their comeback, and before a clothesline lands, a girl's already taken a bump. I don't know who brought that in. I don't know who taught that, but it's bad. It's bad. To continue on the Tom Phillips, just pouring on him, I hope somebody in the WWE changes their finisher name to the O, so announcers can't call every move that. I will bitch about that until it gains enough traction to make a change.
Maybe they get dubbed the Tom Phillips O into Cash's Oh No's theme.
Oh my God.
The perfect.
That's perfect.
Tesla coil of suck right there.
We have some people who have done remixes for our shows. Somebody's got to do that.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. Man.
Well, actually, they should dub Tom Phillips saying the O and Joey Styles saying the no. 1, 2, and no. Somebody go out there and do that.
Oh, there are endless possibilities with that one. There really are. Like New Kids on the Block and Lady Gaga. Like there are plenty of opportunities for that one. There was a really cool spot in this match when Nikki Cross caught Asuka in the apron. Now, this spot has kind of been done before, but nobody has done it better than what Nikki Cross did it. That was really cool. Asuka retains the title in another good match. Alex, this women's match, it was put in a very tough spot, and it delivered.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch it a la carte because watching it following that, it doesn't do it justice for me. I know they were much better than, but I was still hungover and smoking a cigarette from how great that match preceding it was. I don't hate the finish. A lot of people hated the finish. I liked it. I think that I'm loving Asuka as super cocky, still kind of babyface champ. I love it.
She tiptoes that line.
Yeah. There was a great spot they did with her on an episode of NXT where she was like didn't want to answer questions in a limo driving to the arena, got out and was really nice to all her fans. As she walked away from the fans, she was like, "Oh God." I'm like, that's great. I love that character for her. And when she finally loses, if they build somebody up correctly to give her comeuppance, that could be something very fun. And then you can have her turn and become that evil clown thing she was in Japan before she showed up in America. Have her do that for a while as a heel. You know, I mean, if they're never going to bring her up to the main roster, once you switch her over to becoming a full-on monster heel, that could be great too. Like she can do that for 6 months easy.
Anna, what do you think of the finish?
I like the finish. The only thing that I felt I wanted more from this match was something more from Cross and Riot, so we have something to launch straight into in their program. I think it was a combination of following the UK Championship match, and just there was just something slightly lacking with this, but at the same time, I kind of can't really fault it for that because it did leave me wanting more from Cross and Riot So I guess that's technically a job well done because I want to see this program even more. Nikki Cross and Pete Dunne, if they had kids together, they would be spectacular.
Yeah, I hope they don't go the route of Nikki Cross and Ruby Riot just because Nikki's crazy. I don't want them to Bray Wyatt Nikki Cross in that regard to where, oh, she's crazy, so she can just attack people. And
I think where she's sitting right now, it's perfect. The little mini celebrations every time she hurts someone is just beautiful. I think they work really well together, and I'm really looking forward to this program. I just wish that they'd given us a little more reason to launch into it now.
Jeff, it's your turn.
I was a little underwhelmed by the match. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I think I was expecting a little bit more. It felt like it was disjointed at times. And it reiterates how badly I want an Asuka Nikki Cross one-on-one match between the two of them. Not that Ruby Riot was bad, but just three people in a match is always kind of someone's out there waiting and then they come back in. I was surprised they didn't take the belt off of Asuka here because I thought the story was going to be both Ember Moon and Asuka kind of racing to get the belt off of whoever had it. That's the part that really shocked me a bit. My dream match right now is still a program with Asuka and Becky Lynch. I'd love to see the two of them work together. But this is where Asuka stays. Look, I think we're going to get a lot more Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross, which is fine. And I think they're just going to put Ember and Asuka in a build for SummerSlam.
Do you think Ember is the one to unseat Asuka? Because when I see her promos, I'm like, I don't know if this is the girl to unseat Asuka.
I used to think she was.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I thought when they gave her that finisher, I thought she was the one that's how it's going to end with her hitting that. Now I'm not confident in that pick, but I still think they're going to do it.
I think they should wait until the women's tournament is over and see if they make somebody special out of that. Because if you get somebody out of the tournament and you have them beat Asuka, that could be big time.
Like I could see a Tony Storm blowing that tournament out of the water and just coming in and beating Asuka in a night and being just huge for that division.
I think that would be great if somebody ran through the tournament, then beat Asuka. That's made woman right there.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, do you think that Ember Moon is the one to knock off Asuka? And what program is next? Do you think it is Ember Moon?
I think it is. I'm not convinced. I feel like they still haven't really found who she is or what. Like, yeah, we get she's out for vengeance now. That was a nasty fall, but there needs to be something else behind that. There needs to be. She's not as strong as Asuka. She's not coming across as strong as Asuka.
Did I lose you all?
No, here.
No, I'm still here.
All right, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I lost Cheryl's audio for a second. Alex,
Paranoid.
before we put a bow on this, since we've already kind of addressed that, what do you think goes down with Asuka at the next set of TV tapings?
I think the idea behind her injuring Ember, so Ember wasn't in a Fatal 4-Way here, and Ember's promo about how when I come back, I'm going to be even stronger. That's all leading toward a build for the next 3 months of getting Ember in a one-on-one match with Asuka. And if Ember hits her super protected finisher, she beats Asuka. But I'm not sold on how they're going to get from where Ember is now to where I'm going to be happy with Asuka losing to Ember. You know? So we'll have to see. I mean, NXT I trust NXT almost as much as I don't trust the main roster with their storytelling. So we'll see, you know?
Yeah, I will be a weekly viewer of NXT. Probably, well, not as it happens, but, you know, I'm not going to miss anything with the roster they have right now. Somebody said my statement didn't make sense because Asuka can't cut a promo in English either. Guy, you are missing the point if you're comparing the charisma of Asuka to that of Ember Moon. Bobby Roode defeated Hideo Itami. Shocker, guys. The old Impaler DDT gets it done. I've been trying to tell you all for years. Nobody wanted to listen. They didn't even try to top Bobby Roode's old entrances. And I want to say, I think that guy is extremely fortunate that Nakamura passed on that theme, because that theme made him in WWE. Not disrespecting him or his ability, but I don't think he'd be at where he is on this show without that. And I do think Nakamura could have found a way to make that work for him. I think that Nakamura probably could have found a way to make the fucking hokey pokey work for him. But, you know.
I believe there is a video close to that out there on the internet.
Probably. There was a tweet that, I wish I remembered who posted it, but Itami like whiffed on the back kick taunt thing where he jumps over them and does that, and somebody says that kind of sums up his NXT run. There were a lot of people speculating that this could be Itami's last NXT match. Nothing founded. I haven't asked anything like that, but it's not been a good run. He's been hurt, but I honestly think that this may be one of his better matches on TV, and I didn't think it was that great of a match. I thought it was a decent match, but a few notes. Those new ring posts that they have sound really great when you throw somebody into them. That goes a lot further. It's amazing how they can make those safer and sound way more dangerous at the same time. We got a Falcon Arrow from Itami. Thumbs up for that one. Thumbs up for that one. There was some really good play with the steel stairs from both dudes, including that dropkick spot that you don't see every day from Hideo Itami. The hesitation dropkick in the corner was nice. Then Itami smacks the piss out of Roode. I totally love that finish where Bobby Roode hit the implant DDT, held on to it, hit him with another one. Alex, what is Bobby Roode doing for you in this position? And what did you think of Itami? This was really his biggest match he's had since being under WWE contract.
Yeah, it's weird. I've been thinking about it. I haven't been in love with the NXT main event scene since like early Balor and Joe, before it got to be like them doing it over and over and over and over again. Honestly, I always hated Shinsuke Nakamura as champ because nothing could touch him except for like, oh, well, he hurt his knee in this match, so he's going to obviously shy away from all of his knee-based offense. Oh, no, wait, no, he's not, and he wins the match anyway. Yeah, all of that kind of just made me go blah. And then Roode and Nakamura's matches, I was like, I could take them or leave them. They're good, they're technical, but I didn't love them. They were never the match of the night.
It's pretty much the grass is green as it pertains to Bobby Roode for me.
Yeah. So, but actually, tonight's match with Itami was my favorite Bobby Roode match in NXT. I really liked everything he did with it. I think that Roode is only so good as you have him as champ for a baby face that everyone can get behind to chase him. And I think that's Roderick Strong. So we'll have to see where this goes from here. But I did love it. I want to say something about Itami. His first injury, the one that they sold, is like somebody attacked him in the parking lot. If that injury was legit, and if he hadn't had that injury, I think he was positioned to go right up to the top of NXT. And then he was out for so long. By the time he came back, everyone basically forgotten about him, and then he got injured again. And it's poor timing for him to lose all those things. But if he ever goes up to the main roster, and maybe he won't. I mean, I don't know. But you have to answer the question for me. Who was the guy who attacked Itami? That's the biggest cold case in all of NXT, and I need to know who it was. Just give it, even if you never do anything with it, please tell me who it was.
Jeff, do you think they ever pay that off, or are we just supposed to assume that Kevin Owens did it? Because they do make sure that you see Kevin Owens going, that's a shame.
Oh, yeah, no, it was going to be Kevin Owens, I think. I think this match, everybody's correct. This was Itami's best match. This is a match Hideo Itami needed. It needed to reestablish him as a badass, and yes, that slapping, it got me in the feels. I absolutely loved that. I found it endearing that he missed that taunting back kick and then went back and did it again. I think this did a lot for Itami because, look, he's the guy who got injured by Riddick Moss in Largo, for God's sake. He needed this. I hope he stays in NXT, and I hope he stays at the top of the card, and they kind of build up 2 or 3 guys to go after Rude, to be honest with you. I thought the ending for Rude did a lot for his championship credibility. I'm like everybody else. Rude doesn't do a whole lot for me in terms of being a main event player, but kind of getting his butt kicked all match and then pulling out a finisher like that, I think that did a lot for him. And just kind of the squeaking by, yet still very good champ, as opposed to kind of having the back and forth match that he was trying to do with Nakamura and stuff. I think that did a lot for Rude as well. So I enjoyed this. It wasn't my favorite match of the night by any means, but I think it did a lot for both guys.
Anna, is Bobby Roode, the resilient champion, doing anything for you?
I think we got a lot more of his character out of this one. There are a couple of spots I absolutely loved. The dodge of the go to sleep, Rude runs out of the ring. Just that look on his face is priceless. And then after the second one, and then he falls out of the ring. That was fantastic. My question, though, is how many of the recent championship matches have we had that has revolved around an injury? Because I feel like it's been...
It's like everything.
It's a trope.
They really need to kill that one for a while, because it has just, all the last few ones have just felt like they've bled into the same thing. This has been Bobby Roode's best. I think Itami brought a lot out of him. I thought Itami was great, as believable as a man with a grudge and something to prove. And it was good storytelling. I just think that there was a little too many gaps in the telling of the story.
Where does Bobby Roode go next, Alex? I know you said Roderick Strong is what you're hoping. You stick into that? You think that because, I mean, Drew McIntyre's chilling. Aleister Black's not there yet.
Yeah, I think you could do a really cool McIntyre versus Black like undercard thing as like a back and forth series of matches to be the next number 1 contender.
I don't know if they want to beat either guy, though.
I know. Or a McIntyre versus Ono thing would be fine with me too. You know, I mean, I just, if you're not building toward a Strong versus Rude program, I don't know what you're doing. So I want to see it, and I think that's what they're going to do.
Jeff?
I think Drew McIntyre is the next guy to face Bobby Roode. I think he's the guy that they have fast tracked for the main roster. They're going to give him some credibility. They're going to give him the belt.
Main event, NXT Tag Team Championship ladder match. The Authors of Pain defeated DIY. There's a funny spot early. Well, almost tragic. As DIY carried this giant ladder towards the ring, it almost fell over backwards, like into the audience. I can't remember if it was Razor or Akam, but whoever slammed Gargano on Ciampa's back, that was absolutely psychotic, and I was terrified. There was a spot where AOP bumped their asses off for DIY off of the ladders, like... One fell on his back, and the other one's like, oh, yeah? You think that's impressive? And face planted right into the mat from like the 3rd or 4th rung. Then there was this really gross ladder shot to the face of Gargano, who saved Ciampa, which plays into everything that's going to happen later. I mean, this was brutal. I hope they crafted the top of that ladder with like Nerf or something. I don't know. Hey, I'm sure they could. Not like you're going to use the top of that ladder for anything else. Then Ciampa hit a back suplex through a ladder, off of a ladder. Okay. There was also this spot where both men almost, pardon my language, fucking died as they jump off of a ladder onto each of the members of Authors of Pain and then flip. But Ciampa didn't flip. He scorpioned. And like his heels were rubbing the back of his head. It was gross looking. Very, very lucky that neither man got injured, especially after Ciampa had a bit of an injury scare Thursday night. After the match, Ciampa turns on Gargano. It was a badass heel turn. We'll get to the heel turn momentarily. we've still got about 15 minutes left in the show, so we will get to that. Just the match, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I'm trying to put that out of my head. I think Nigel McGuinness summed it up perfectly at the end of the match. He said about DIY, I think they'd survive anthrax. Yeah, these guys together are just, they were magic. And AOP compared to me, they were good in the last match, but they really brought it. I feel they had the skills to bring it for this match. And it was kind of like, I made some joke about it's all fun and games until AOP comes to the ladder party. But it is kind of like, oh, cool, DIY's got a ladder match. This is fun. And then the two hulking juggernauts come through and smash the shit out of everyone. You're like, oh, no, this is serious. Okay, cool. I thought it was a great match. I think it was a great way to end the show. And we won't get there yet, but I was not. I thought we survived it. We didn't.
Alex, the old talking point used to be that the Performance Center wasn't making anybody. Now, people were using this talking point about 4.5 weeks into the Performance Center existing, but now they got some bro from Bellator MMA, and he's 22 years old in Razor. They got a guy who was like, nah, I don't really want to do the Olympics. I'll just go wrestle. They put him together with them, and when they first teamed up, I was like, I don't know about that. They are a best case scenario, it seems, for that WWE developmental system and the Performance Center, and the idea of mixing fresh developmental talent with people like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, who have been indie stars, people like Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, who weren't indie stars but are polished performers. I thought Authors of Pain brought it. I thought the match was pretty damn good. What says you?
I've been high on the Authors of Pain for a long time.
Well, we're drug testing.
Yeah. But I've had a high opinion of them, to go back on my original phrasing. For a long time. I love what you can do with guys that size. Like, the storytelling immediately is there. Jesus, how are you going to beat these two monsters? And then you build a match around that. Now, you can have a couple of lumbering, stiffs out there that can't hold up their end of the match, and the match suffers. But these guys aren't that. And they haven't been, even from when they were starting. They've improved the entire time, but they were not slouches to begin with. And this just proved that these guys can work. Like, they bumped their asses off for, like, that backdrop spot off the ladder where the ladder splintered into a million pieces. Like, that thing was insane. Like, these guys are more power to them. I'm so happy for them at this point in their careers that they're progressing this way. The thing I loved the most was that Authors of Pain told the story that they were so big they didn't know how ladders worked. Like, that was great. That was so great. Like, one of them would have to get on, and the other would have to hold down the other end. So
why the hell are two people climbing?
I wouldn't pull the weight back. Oh my God, it was so great. Oh, it was so great. I love that. But I also love how, of course, at the end, once they had delivered the final blows to Ciampa and Gargano, they immediately remembered how to climb a ladder and did it in 2 seconds. So that's fine. But I love this whole match. Was so happy with how it all went down. And they fooled me several times into thinking that Ciampa and Gargano were actually going to win it, which is great.
I'm actually thankful that they didn't do what I thought they were going to do when they were going to make the Authors of Pain afraid of heights. And that's why they couldn't climb a ladder.
Yeah.
Look, just to piggyback on what everybody else is saying. Yeah, just to piggyback on what everybody else is saying, the spot for me that just gave me so much respect for the Authors of Pain and also DIY was, of course, the dive off the very tall ladder on the outside onto ladders they were prone on. There is so much that can go wrong in those kinds of spots. In terms of injury, in terms of controlling yourself. I was just amazed at that. I don't care if that ladder was wooden and it was gimmicked just for that spot. that popped me when they did the belly to back off the ladder through that thing. And the one thing nobody's mentioned yet, but just had me howling with laughter, was the Paul Ellering spot. I don't know who came up with that thinking right there, but just having Ellering come in and just having him have that pause and just getting super kicked, I howled. Oh my goodness, did I laugh so much at seeing Ellering. It wasn't really, the most forceful ladder.
Paul Ellering, who looks younger than Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
Still somehow.
It was a weak ladder push, and then the ladder fell down, and it's like the ladder didn't do what it was supposed to, so Ellering just throws it. Oh, my good. And then he just takes a super kick. Oh, God bless that spot. I loved it. Everything about this match was great. Look, DIY, that's a perfect coda to their NXT career, and I'm looking forward to the feud.
After everything was said and done, DIY are walking to the back. They get to the very top of the ramp, and Tommaso Ciampa does the turn. Attacks Gargano, then delivers a knee. Then I thought he was going to put him through an announce table. Put Gargano through an announce table, that is. Ciampa hoists him up, and then they go through a set of tables even further down. And then Ciampa just sits there and stares at him. This Tommaso Ciampa is going to be incredible because Tommaso Ciampa is just fantastic at this role. Anna, I'm giving you the first crack at this one.
I've had My Heart Will Go On playing through my head the entire time since we've seen that.
Don't cry, Anna.
We are getting Psycho Killer, and I'm really damn excited about this, but my heart's also breaking, and this is worse than all my breakups combined ever. So yeah, not to be dramatic, but that's how I feel. But yeah, as much as this hurts, this is going to be an awesome feud, and bring it on. Yeah, okay.
Jeff.
The Sicilian Psychopath is back. Kudos to the WWE production truck for putting the NXT watermark up there, thinking that the show's over, and having me click out for a second before I went back and went, well, maybe something's going to happen. And sure enough, I'm mid beatdown. I'm like, yep, there it is. I think this program's going to do a lot for Gargano as being a possible, we talked all about Roderick Strong and Drew McIntyre. It might be after this program that they decide to greenlight Johnny Gargano up to the top of NXT, because he has that, Ricky Morton breakout star quality to him. And just anytime he gets beat up and he has that feisty underdog thing going for him, it's going to be great. And this beatdown, after he puts him through the table, he just sits on the other table, just kind of staring down for a moment. I just absolutely loved that. I'm not sure if it made sense necessarily, but I loved it. That's my only thing. It's like, he took a ladder for you. How are you going to explain that you were so angry at that you decided to then kick his ass after the match? That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the explanation, but I loved everything about it.
Well, I think that makes Ciampa look even more like an asshole. I'm being told that Ciampa might have an injury that's going to put him on the shelf for a while. Apparently, Triple H just mentioned that. Alex, in light of that,
the knee when he because that
didn't play into the match,
right?
Alex, if there's no Ciampa, what happens with Gargano?
I don't know. Like, honestly, what would you do? Like, you
got a bunch of baby faces and not a lot of heels right now.
You got to keep him off. You got to have him sell this as being, like, have him do the live events, but you got to keep him off TV for at least a month, selling this beating until whenever Ciampa gets back, or have him come back from the thing, have him do some cool underdog stuff, have him wrestle some heel, have him do a program with Andrade Almas. That'll be fun. And then have whatever Ciampa gets back from the injury, take him out. That's fine. They've been teasing this breakup since back at the Cruiserweight Championship match they had against each other.
Oh yeah.
I wrote an incredibly long, detailed thought piece about how they were all setting this whole thing up. I just tweeted it out. I wrote it back August 24th. Like, that's how long they've been doing this thing. I just tweeted it out. You can go to my at Pulaski the Fourth and you can read this crazy thing. Like, Ciampa is perfect at this. The whole thing where he had turned on him and he was thinking, should I have done that? And you have like Gargano in a broken heap in his lap, just kind of feebly reaching up at his former best friend. Like, what? Why did you? I don't. And so, you know what? Now I got to kill you. Now I got to kill you. I feel so guilty. Now I got to kill you. So he takes him up on top of the damn announce table. He looks down at him like he pities him, and then he air raid crashes him off the back of this. Like, and then he sits there. My favorite part is him sitting on top of the announce table, looking down at his broken best friend, like, you piece of crap. Like, I can't believe that I was ever your friend. Like that. This could be the greatest that this could continue all the way for the rest of the year.
Like, you read my mind when I end any podcast with you guys. Ugh.
Them not tipping the heel turn at all is also a testament to the fact that NXT lets things, they back off on the bit a bit.
Yeah.
And they never even hinted at this, which was pretty great.
You mentioned the watermark before we went on the air, Jeff. Great touch to run the watermark before the turn.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was good.
Yeah, because I assume there were many people who turned off as soon as they saw the watermark and said, that's it.
Yeah. We are back tomorrow night after Backlash. It'll be myself and Alex. Gonna be talking about that gender, Randy Orton. I don't even have it in. I don't have it in me. Jeff, tell the people where they can follow you on social media.
At Crep Game 13, you can also follow at Shake Them Ropes. That's where my other show is.
Anna.
And at Anna Bauert, Bauert. And Most Ridiculous also. You should watch that.
Yeah, drops every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Except on, well, I don't know. Is it dropping Monday this week or Sunday?
It should be Sunday. It'll be Sunday, sure. I don't
want to go and promise something, and then you message me tomorrow. Oh, crikey!
No, it'll be
I was up all night working on that Most Ridiculous.
Come on, Kangaroo Jack. It's going to be up in time. Now let's wrap up the show so I can go get back to work on it.
Wow.
Alex,
we're having an office politics meeting here right now. Okay.
Alex, where can they follow you?
You can follow me at Pulaski the Fourth, and I just want to say I'm so glad that I am not on Tuesdays to come between this brilliance. I'm glad to watch it afar.
Well, you should probably be really happy because, see, I know it's an ego blow to Jeff and Anna, and you yourself, you've been a stage actor. When I come on this show and I bust out a great Australian accent like that, these three are like, shit. Not only is he great at his job, but he's even better at my job than me. Like, he's such a fantastic actor. Like, how could he do it? And it's funny, so Jeff's like, shit. He's got me there, too. And if you all want to get me, follow me at Sean Ross Sapp, at Fightful Online, at Fightful MMA, at Fightful Wrestle. Subscribe to us, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. Leave us a thumbs up. Let people know. Tweet out on the Twitter machine. Go out there and say, hey, guys, I watched that Fightful podcast. It was pretty damn cool. Spell it like that, K-O-O. Because if you call it cool, I'm probably not going to respond to you. Until next time, we're out.